Hello and welcome to Senior Solutions, where we bring you topics affecting seniors and their loved ones. I'm your host, Mindy Felinton. Well, are you ready to get those old dancing shoes out and have some fun? Well, my show today is all about fun. And my guest today is Andrea Hancock, who is the Seniorita Sunshine. And I want to welcome her, and she's going to talk with us about what she does and how she brings sunshine and joy and dance and music to our lives. Welcome. Thank you for being here, Andrea.
Thank you, Mindy. Happy to be here.
Tell me, what was the motivation for Seniorita Sunshine?
Well, like you said, fun. I wanted to be on the fun side of working with seniors. I've actually worked with seniors for several years in different capacities. First as a move organizer, helping them move and downsize, which is not really that much fun. But
that's for sure.
I tried to make it fun. I didn't really sing while I was doing it, but maybe I should have. But I got to know seniors that way. And then I worked in senior communities, and I worked in the marketing department, and then I worked in the activities department. So as I was getting myself closer and closer to the activity room, and that's where I discovered I really wanted to combine my passion for seniors and the whole industry and my love of performing and put it together and try to just bring some fun and relieve the stress the best way I know how.
Have you always been a performer?
I've always done some kind of performing. Back from the time I was 9 years old in camp, they had camp shows, so I think that's where I first discovered it, and performed in Pippin. I should go see the new Pippin because that one's really great on Broadway. And then I was involved in high school musicals and dramas as well. And then I went to college, and it was like, do I want to pursue this track, or gee, that fall back on, something, the business to fall back on. And I also enjoyed advertising and marketing, so I pursued that. I took a break from performing, but it always kept creeping back in. So I really rediscovered it when I moved to Kauai. I moved to Hawaii.
How nice.
Yeah, so I was far away from home, and I think that sort of makes you dig deep and figure out what is it that you really love. I mean, aside from the beautiful weather and the water and the gorgeous flowers and so forth. But I got back into community theater there and discovered the Kauai Community Players. Went to Honolulu. So yeah, and then eventually I ended up in New York. And I started doing, I was getting backstage at the time, the tabloid backstage.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
When I lived in Hawaii, and that's really a long way. 5,000 miles away, you're reading about auditions and stuff and classes and things going on in New York. And I'm like, I think I want to be there. So I got myself there for an acting workshop, and then I ended up moving there. So it's always been the thing I do on the side. But now, like I said, I've been able to combine it as a business, so I'm excited to be able to do what I love and share it with others.
Sounds like a good marriage between the interest in the working with seniors and being able to perform. What attracted you specifically to being in the entertainment activity part for seniors? For seniors.
Well, I really loved working with them, and I was introduced to working with seniors as a move organizer, or transition coordinator. So there's a lot going on in a senior's life when they're transitioning. Many cases, they're moving from a house that they've lived in for 40, 50 odd years, raised their families. There's a lot of emotion attached to it, and they need help shedding stuff, and so that they can comfortably fit into, say, a two-bedroom apartment, which is usually a typical downsizing move. And I got to work one-on-one with them, and really, in addition to an appreciation for their infinite wisdom, which I think most people recognize. But I also discovered their appreciation for the smallest of things and their kindness. And I just loved being around them. And then when I worked in community, at a senior community, I was interacting with seniors certainly on a daily basis. And I learned how much benefit they derive from the entertainers coming in, and the difference between someone coming in and just, I'm going to play my guitar or whatever, or sing a song, versus I'm going to really connect with you, and I'm here for you. And I think it makes a huge difference. I think they say people don't remember what you say, but they remember the way you make them feel. So that's where I want to position myself.
Well, I think that's a great segue to perhaps introducing one of the songs I think you're going to share with us today, because I know for me, when I have song in my heart, it really makes me feel good. So
that's great.
Without further ado,
okay,
would love to have you show us or sing for us one of your songs.
That sounds great. The name of the song is Make Someone Happy.
Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart, the heart you sing to. One smile that cheers you, one face that lights when it nears you, one man you're everything to. Fame, if you win it, comes and goes in a minute. Where's the real stuff in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you found him, build your world around him. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too. Where's the real stuff in life to cling to? Love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you found him, build your world around him, and make someone happy. Make just one someone happy, and you will be happy too. You'll be happy too. You'll be happy too.
That was great. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brings lots of smiles,
Oh, well,
I am
good.
sure. So what is the typical reaction from your audience when Seniorita Sunshine is up there doing
I love the way
thing?
you say Seniorita. That's good. You know, I get surprised all the time. It's really fun. Certainly, lots of smiles, lots of clapping, singing along. There's usually a few people in the audience who know all the words. And,
Wow.
and then I'm like, okay.
And they remember them.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
need to
great
help
thing.
me. There's because some of these songs, these songs from the 30s through the 60s, I mean, they don't write them like that anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
they got verses and verses. And
Well, the thing is, in those days, you could actually understand all the words. These days, not so much.
not so much.
Right.
It varies, but yeah, I mean, there's certainly some great songwriters out there.
Yes.
I'm
not casting aspersions. It's
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I do, and actually, that you bring that up, I do make a special effort to enunciate, because I think that's really important for my audience, because they want to hear the words. But I've had reactions. I've had people just getting up and dancing in the corner of the room. That blew my mind. I mean, like couples just getting up, and they were like, "Oh, we love this," you know. So I'm doing my thing, and I'm interacting with various people in the audience, and they're just dancing in the back. Then there was a gentleman who I get to hear their stories, which is so nice, because you know, not only do they light up when they hear the music, and then their memory is jogged. And then this one gentleman, I was doing a Hawaiian luau show, and he came up to me afterwards, and he said, "You know, that song you sang, it's called Hawaiian War Chant. I call it a vintage Hawaiian tune." He's like, "I traveled with a band. We traveled all over the world playing that song." He plays guitar. He plays ukulele. Of course, I encouraged him to bring his ukulele to the next show, and but that's just real special. So when I hear those kinds of things, I know that I've done good for the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
It's got to be bringing sunshine to your heart.
It does. It does. Certainly. I mean, like I said, I'm always surprised. I mean, I do elicit tears. I hope they're kind of happy tears.
Tears of joy, yes.
Yeah, but, I know when I see that, I have to keep it together for me. But again, it just makes it all worthwhile, that you feel like, because I think we're in a world where, I mean, everyone's doing their, their phone and, their smartphone, and they're on the computer and the phone and the music plugged in, and the lack of connection with other people. And I think, certainly, I mean, I feel it, and I can't imagine what seniors, how they feel, because they're not all plugged in like we are,
right,
and connected. And and so when you come in and you just sort of, communicate with them the way that they're used to, you get a lot from it as well. I mean, I really do walk away feeling very, very grateful and very blessed.
Well, I'm excited because I think you and I are going to do a song together.
Going back to Napoli because she misses scenery, the native dances and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Go, go, go. You mixed up Siciliano. Oh, you Calabrese do the mambo like a crazy. And a hey mambo, don't wanna tarantella. Hey mambo, no more a mozzarella. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Try an enchilada and a fish of bacala. And then a hey kumba, I love the way you dance to rumba. But take us some advice, paisano, learn how to mambo. If you're gonna be a square, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Go, go, Joe, shake like a Giovanna. Hello, quesadilla, get a happy in the feet. So when you mambo italiano. All right, Mindy, here we go, baby. Shake her, baby, shake her, 'cause I love her where you take her, me. Mama say stop her or I'm gonna tell her papa. And hey, child rule, you don't have to go to school. But make her with a big bambino, it's like a vino. Get you good at looking, but you don't know what's cooking till you have mambo, mambo italiano. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Go, 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 mixed up Siciliano. It's so delicious, everybody come capisce when you mambo italiano. That's so nice.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan,
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown,
downtown, night owl,
early
We
bird.
come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to Senior Solutions, where we bring you topics affecting seniors and their loved ones. And I'm your host, Mindy Felinton. And I'm joined today by Andrea Hancock, who is Seniorita Sunshine, and we just had a ball. I'm
Sure.
a
Yeah,
little out of breath,
but
but,
that's the way it is. Yeah,
but it's great.
And you were getting some good exercise too,
I
weren't
know.
you? You didn't
What-
even realize.
What another benefit of Seniorita Sunshine's program. Tell me about some of the other benefits, because I obviously feel the exercise one myself, and the joy. It was just great, brought smiles to my face.
That's great. Well, that, I mean, just, memory is another real benefit. because the memory is jogged when familiar songs are played, not only for the lyrics of the song, but of good times, taking people back to when maybe they were at 17 and they were at their high school dance, and all of a sudden, their face lights up and they can remember that. Or I just did a USO show, and that was really great to bring that kind of music back. I did some Andrews Sisters, some tap dancing. You can learn anything from the internet. And a good pair of tap shoes. And, don't get too crazy. So I wanted to show that, I'm aware that this is what was going on during my audience members' lifetime, during their heyday, their youth. So that's one of the benefits. People tell me, thank you so much for taking me down memory lane. I'm so excited. I feel energized for the day. I could walk into a room and maybe people are feeling a little tired or sluggish. Could be right after lunch or that doldrum time, 3 o'clock or so, and kind of need a little pick-me-up. And then, so it's my job to come in there and be that pick-me-up.
Yeah.
And I love it, and I do hear really nice feedback from people of.
I can only imagine. I mean, it's so nice to go down memory lane. I just saw Jersey Boys for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, that's kind of my genre of when I was growing up, and it has lots of great memories from that era for me. So I can totally relate.
Exactly.
All good stuff.
Exactly.
So I heard you have a penchant for wigs. Tell me about
You
that.
mean I'm not a natural blonde? Oh, my secret's out. I do love wigs. I think that I've always loved wigs. When Halloween comes around, that's the first thing I do is put on a wig on my head, and then I figure out what costume I want. Now I've become more sophisticated, but I've got probably about 7 or 8 wigs in my wardrobe closet. Just recently, like I said, I did a USO show, so I dress accordingly. I have a costume change in that one. Don't change the wig, that's too complicated. But sort of a 1940s victory curls, very, very complicated. Got to keep those things curled. Just did a Halloween show with a pumpkin wig, orange. Actually, that's a good color on me. So, and you
Fortunate.
too. Yeah, it's good. And the blonde has become sort of the signature of Seniorita Sunshine. And I do a Lucy look. I do a red curly wig and put a kerchief on it, and then actually that doubles as my Rosie the Riveter for my patriotic show. But it says to people, I think, when you come in dressed up, not only with wigs, but a costume, wow, she really put some energy into this,
She's the real deal.
Yeah, and not like, oh, I'm just going to fly in here for a little quickie sing-song dance, bye-bye. No, wow, this is going to be a show. And that is what I want to present, and I want people to know this is important. And it also gets them excited about, well, what else has she got up her sleeve? So I bring props. I like to add props to my act.
What are some of the things you bring as props?
Let's see, for my USO show, I have quite a few, depending on who I'm representing, which artist. So I go through, I play the host of a typical USO show, and then I might have Marlene Dietrich come on. Well, Marlene Dietrich, number one, she was a smoker, okay? Now, she probably did not sing and smoke at the same time, but we're going to have some fun. So I put on the black gloves, and I hold the cigarette, and it just, suddenly, I don't have to do anything else.
You transform.
I transform just with that little bit, and sort of your stance. I bring in, for our dance, I had a pretty, I guess it's sort of a sarong type thing, a scarf with fringe and scarf. So you can play with it. People love that. Probably one of my favorite, most popular props is a feather boa. And the feather boa is really loved by most men in the room. And you can have a lot of fun with the feather boa. You play with it first, and then you put it on them. Or when we dance, I let them hold my boa. And, who doesn't love that?
Yes,
so
yes.
it's just, it really adds to, I hope it adds to the experience and the fun.
It sounds like it. How could it not be? So how long is your typical Seniorita Sunshine show?
It's typically an hour, but I have done longer shows and I've done shorter shows. Just depends on what people request. I pride myself on being as flexible as possible.
So speaking of flexibility, tell me about some of the different kinds of occasions that you can perform for.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I love to do birthdays, milestone birthdays and anniversary parties, and it actually it's been a tradition in my family. Even before the Seniorita Sunshine days, I would do song parodies. So I'd find a fun song, and then I would make up words for the recipient for the special person's birthday or a couple. So I can do exactly the same thing with Seniorita Sunshine because I use tracks. I do sing along to tracks that I get off of iTunes. And there's some really good quality stuff out there. And then it's just my voice, so either I sing the real lyrics or I can make up fun stuff. But then like that, in addition to the different specialized shows, people tend to ask for a patriotic show at communities. People like Broadway cabaret, very popular, so I have a Broadway cabaret show. The Halloween show, I did some spooky stuff.
Ooh.
Monster Mash.
For some reason, what's resonating in my head is I'm thinking of Bette Midler and the Bugle Boy. You know, I can just hear you doing.
Oh, she's my fave.
Oh, well.
She's my fave. I don't know if we have time. I'll tell you the Bette Midler story. I did meet her one day at the Bottom Line when it was open. It's closed now in New York. But yeah, she's a big favorite of mine, and thank you. I have heard that reference, and I do try to channel her. Well, she's alive, but to try to bring her essence and my own essence into my acts.
Well, you apparently have, because I picked up on it. So.
Oh, well, thank you. So, gee, maybe we should call her.
Yes, or I'm psychic. I'm like the great Karnak.
Yeah.
So where do you typically perform?
I perform anywhere a little musical sunshine is needed, but typically over 55 communities, Leisure World, retirement communities, independent, assisted living, wellness and rehab centers, senior centers, and birthday and anniversary parties, private gigs. I've also done some farmers markets recently.
Is that one of the most unusual places where you perform?
Well, that was sort of unusual, but even more unusual, I'll have to say, was the Crab Feast. It was at Leisure World. It was an outdoor event. My sound system, it was over 250 people. I was outside, so my sound system was really geared more for inside. But it was a lot of fun, and quite frankly, most people were, busy with the crabs. So I knew to
priorities.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was, all you can eat. So I stayed away from the people just very intent on banging on
their
crabs. But if they were done, like my mother's table in the front, and there were these lovely tables on various sides of me, and I would go as far as I could and, sort of wave at people as they were eating. But it was a lot of fun. But I'm used to distractions in my job, so I find it challenging to just
overcome.
Plow ahead, yeah. Just, sometimes entertainers, of course we all like to, be acknowledged, and you want people to listen and pay attention, but sometimes there's something else going on, so you just do your thing, and then later they tell you that, oh yeah, I was paying attention, maybe through one ear or whatever, but it's okay. If I can get one ear, I'll take one ear.
Yeah. I hear you. No pun intended.
That was very good.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
They could go to my website, which is SenioritaSunshine.com. Seniorita is spelled SENIORITA. So that's the little twist, because my niche is seniors. It also helped me get a website really quickly, because I spell it wrong. So that was great. I thought, oh, that's good. And then you can just contact me directly at Andrea@SenioritaSunshine.com.
All right, wonderful. Well, I hate to stop all this sunshine, because it was just great, but before we end the show today, would you do one final song?
I would love to.
And after that, we will see our audience next time.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers, enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.